Good morning, folks. Extremely happy to connect with you again and speak to you on a very interesting title. Very short and sweet video. Probably not a sweet video, but probably a tougher video in terms of choices. Watch till the end and probably consider subscribing to this channel for exciting brief talks on life and career choices. Career first or family first is the question we are asking today. I know it's a very easy answer for most of us, or at least a majority of us. We all would say family first because end of the day, what are we struggling for in our careers? We are all working hard to build a wonderful career, primarily to have an exciting lifestyle or a very comfortable lifestyle with all the happiness for our family and extended family. I'm sure there are no doubts about it, and I'm sure you would agree with this too. But the point is, in your early career or probably mid-career, are you willing to make compromises in terms of probably giving a lesser priority to the family? I will never say ignore the family or put the family interests on the back burner. Yes, that is not what I mean. What I'm saying is, when your career is exciting, when your career comes or beckons with a lot of wonderful opportunities which call for mobility, opportunities which mean that you might have to temporarily relocate, you might have to take more responsibilities, travel much extensively than what you're doing now. You might now be stationed in a particular location, always working in the location itself. But in terms of next level, if there is an exciting opportunity which has got a bigger geographical span of control and organizational span of control, what would you do? The first consideration that comes to my mind is, look, today I'm not traveling much. I'm only probably traveling for annual meetings of the company or annual events. Other than that, I'm based in one location and I'm here to take care of my family. Every evening I get back to my family because that is what I think is very precious, and that is what end of the day we are all working hard for. Yes, but in that particular time or in that particular point in your career trajectory, if there's an exciting opportunity which comes, which only means that there are probably some temporary compromises in terms of family interests, what will you do? Logically, or probably if you think from your heart, what you will do is to probably let go of the opportunities, let go of whatever exciting roles come your way and say, I'm happy with what I'm doing, but I want to be with my family, so I won't make any compromises, even if it is probably traveling for a few days a month and things like that. Yes, that is the answer from the heart, but should that be answer from your brain or the head as well is what I'm asking you. I'll give you certain examples, and this example is from my own career trajectory, early part of my career, where very large and significant, a very wonderful role in terms of a movement from a much smaller company to a larger company. I used to be with a very small homegrown PR agency, public relations agency, and from there I was called for an interview or a discussion, and subsequently made an offer to become a regional head of a multinational or transnational PR agency. This multinational transnational agency was the best of the business. They are one of the top 3 agencies in the world, whereas the present company I was with, the homegrown agency, is actually probably almost a non-entity compared to the transnational company who was going to employ me or who had made an offer to me. But the only catch was that in the next role which was offered to me, I had to travel very extensively. It would mean that I have to be away from my family for probably long times, weeks together, and half of the month would be required in traveling and things like that. So what I had done is I had probably taken this offer, but at the last minute, probably almost closer to the joining date, I called up both the consultant who facilitated me the job offer and also the national head of this transnational company who offered me this role or who had interviewed for the role, and probably expressed my regret, saying that I probably am not willing to compromise on the family front, so I am not willing to take up that role. Believe me, at that point in time, it looked a very easy decision because I thought what I was doing was the best interest in terms of my family comforts and things like that. But years back, or looking back in hindsight today, probably that was one of the biggest career blunders of my life. Not just because I ignored the opportunity, both in terms of a role and a span of control and exciting career growth and things like that. But when there is a duress in your life, when there are tougher patches in your life, you only look back and say that, look, if I had taken that opportunity, both in terms of monetarily and otherwise, I would have been extremely comfortable today had I been there with that company for a few years' time. Not very long, maybe 3 years, 5 years like that. And a lot of times, entire careers are rewritten by one stint or two stints with such exciting companies, such fabulous companies. I know it is very hypothetical. I hadn't taken up the offer with the company, but hearsay is that somebody who had done a 3 or 5 year stint with that transnational company had their entire career fate rewritten so wonderfully, and they probably went places to become vice presidents and presidents of companies, or into much larger roles if you just even ignore this designation. Not alone that, end of the day, we all work so hard for the monetary gains which will accrue in our life and give us more comfort and happiness. So that point also will be totally taken care of when you're willing to take such short-term sacrifices. Of course, all of us have understanding families who will probably work with us and help us or facilitate us to make certain movements. So it is very important for you to be very careful in when you get some opportunities or offers like that. Don't get blinded by short-term considerations. Very carefully look at a 5-year time horizon or a 10-year time horizon and see how it can impact your career, impact your life, and that should be the only yardstick in which you take considered decisions in terms of relocation, in terms of more extensive travel, in terms of even overseas location and things like that. People who have taken those considerable calculated risks have really got very successful in our career, in their careers. That is why the word risk is very often associated with career growth. High risk, high gains is one of the philosophies in career growth. And if you look at people who have really grown so fast, achieved the impossible from an external world point of view, who become managing directors, CEOs, etc., the biggest consideration or the biggest strength they had in their career was mobility, nothing else. They might not have been the best in the world, they might not have been the most intelligent, they might not be people with wonderful pedigree, but they were people who were willing to make a move, move to different locations, chase wonderful opportunities when they came to them, and seize those opportunities, and out of the opportunities carve a niche for them in terms of making a career punch, and by that punch becoming very successful from all points of view. So this is a very important factor you need to keep in mind when you want to build your career path, particularly early or mid-career, someone with 5 years of experience, 10 years of experience, even 15 years of experience. Somebody who, I will put it this way, somebody who is less than 40-45 should be willing to consider such risks and measure or weigh down the risk return in terms of taking such tough decisions. Again, what I mean is these are very tough decisions only from a short-term point of view. From a long-term career point of view and long-term personal and family interest point of view, when you look back, you will for sure feel that this has been some of the wonderful decisions which really crafted both your career and also comforted your life in a very big way, which no other job could have done. So bear this in mind. I just illustrated this as an example. I'm sure this example is probably very telling and powerful. Whichever sector you're in, you could be in tech, you could be in non-tech. For example, if you are in tech, I have this illustration to make. If there are on-site opportunities and you are not willing to go to those on-site opportunities, you are going to the biggest loser. There are hundreds and hundreds of people who are just waiting for the day that they will go on-site, because that is not alone if going to fetch them a lot of money, but that will also make a wonderful career ahead for them. That will make them to leadership roles and things like that. And similarly in non-tech as well, today people who can handle countries and continents in terms of their roles are those people who very sought after. People in leadership role have to have cross-cultural expertise, who have to have expertise in different geographical markets. Like example, somebody who is in India has to have exposure to the Middle East markets, have to have exposure to Far East markets. So it goes on and on like that, depending on what kind of a role you are looking at. So it is very important to have mobility, and mobility is probably very underrated in terms of being a decisive factor in terms of how your career will shape in the long run. Mobility will make you more successful than somebody who doesn't have mobility happens. Keep this in mind. I'm sure this message is of interest to you. Share it with your people, share it with your friends, and those who might be interested in this compelling message. Thank you. I'll see you soon with another wonderful video. Thanks a lot. Have a wonderful career ahead. Pleasure talking to you.